Hi, I'm here today with Alchemistic's Chief of Research, PJ Johnson, Patricia Johnson. We call her PJ. Hi, PJ. It's so great to have you here with me today.
Hi, thank you for doing this. This is a topic that I'm really excited about, all the research
Yeah,
that's going on. Yeah.
right? I am super curious too. So I think that I want to dive into a topic that a lot of people think about when they think about ketamine, which is what Alchemistic does, right? We're about safe ketamine care and holistic care and providing good emotional support for people. So with ketamine, there are, I think, lots of people who, given the news and what they perceive from their environment, people that think that ketamine is addictive. So
Uh-huh.
could you tell us something about the research around that and what you think about it?
Yeah, I'm actually very vexed by the topic. Every time I go into it, on, just whatever the current research is, I can't find solid data sets and solid going for what kind of dosages and treatment styles that lead to addiction. And I think what is proving out is that the clinical treatments and the prescriptions, if people follow those and are very, very disciplined and don't go beyond their prescription, I don't think that there's no potential for, well, that's a strong statement, but very, very rarely is there potential for a physical dependency. Um,
Okay.
but there can be a psychological dependency formed. And I think that's where people can get into trouble,
Mm,
so that they find uh, uh, immediate relief from stressful day in life, and that
mhm,
may not be the best use of this medicine, rather than
mhm,
a holistic wraparound treatment model, which is what we're promoting at Alchemistic, is more
mhm,
prep and thinking of the entire treatment arc, not as the dose to dose to dose, but the weeks leading up to it and then the weeks after, and how you start to process and incorporate your insights into your daily life.
mm.
Right? So
Yeah.
the definition for addiction or substance use disorder currently it seems very subjective. So if someone, is finding themselves obsessing about the next dose, or trying to, get off market or gray market, black market sources,
Mhm.
there's a chance that they might find themselves in a difficult situation if they're engaging in that.
Mm. Okay, super interesting. So what I'm hearing you say is that ketamine use can be sort of psychologically or emotionally addicting for someone who is, struggling and who needs that relief. But that
Mhm.
physiologically it's not at all like heroin or other highly addictive substances. It's even not like alcohol.
Yes,
Does that
yes.
resonate? Yeah.
Yes, you won't get the DTs, that people with alcohol addiction can really risk, and that can be deadly for those folks.
Yeah, the
That's
DT is like withdrawal symptoms. Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I find that comforting and because since Matthew Perry died, there's been quite a lot of talk about ketamine and how he was
Uh-huh.
addicted and it's addictive and blah blah. And you know how the media gets going and people have low knowledge levels maybe in the general public about ketamine, and so they make
Uh-huh.
assumptions like, oh, can't touch that, it's addictive.
Right. And one main thing I really want to point out is Matthew Perry did not die of a ketamine overdose. That is a
Yeah,
scientific fact. The headlines got that all wrong.
of
Um,
course they
um,
did.
right. And many of the deaths that are reported that are, attributed to ketamine are involve stupid human activities like riding a bike, driving a car, taking a swim while high. These are same type of related deaths that happen with people who are drunk and they,
Hmm.
even go out for a walk. And so that is a really sad and bad misinformation that's out there.
Yeah, got it. Got it. So, um, it sounds like since ketamine is not physically addicting, but people can become somewhat emotionally dependent on it. It sounds like a really good reason why, if you're doing ketamine to heal for therapeutic use, that it should be done in a guided, safe way for therapeutic use. That means you do it with a licensed practitioner, provider who gives
Hmm.
you the infusion or the intramuscular or the Spravato, whatever, right? The nose spray or the whatever form it comes in. And then, and also before would be best, but key is afterwards during the processing period after the dose. We need emotional support. We need a coach to be with us to help us think about what we experienced, or we need a psychotherapist. There's a whole science now, or there's a whole methodology called ketamine assisted psychotherapy, CAP,
Hmm.
right? So that to me seems like a good argument for taking that very seriously. We need emotional support. Our brains react to the ketamine, um, usually and hopefully in a very positive way, but we need to be able to take advantage of that positive period,
Right.
of
And
those
this
benefits.
that positive
Yeah,
period you're talking about is this what's referred to as the neuroplastic window. And
yeah.
ketamine is appearing to be the superstar. It produces way more dendritic growth in that short window, and really the potential for changing patterns that people want to do to change is really high. And that's when you start collaborating with outside help and really
Right.
seeking to change patterns there.
This is
um,
so key. I want to just stop you and ask you, can you explain what dendritic growth is?
Oh yeah, yeah. So
For our listeners, right?
yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about neurons, and we were gonna, yeah. So you have a long axion, and then at the end of that axion is a neuron, and then it marries in with, so you have receptors and that.
This is all
Um,
brain chemistry we're talking about, right?
yeah, it's
Inside the
all
brain.
right. And and along, so you get more growth. You also, so you get more tendrils, more, and the more potential for communication among different regions of the brain. So, that's one thing. And what they're finding, if people are suffering from depression, maybe some addictive behaviors as well,
Mm,
the brain starts to function in a what's called canalized way. So it
mm-hmm,
gets stimulated and it fires only one way.
mm,
So when we are in this neuroplastic state, we've got all these opportunities to start firing our mind and our brain in different ways. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is this can go two ways. So, your neuroplastic mind and brain post treatment doesn't always go positive. If you finish treatment and then start having, engaging in bad habits or things like that, you are reinforcing that canalization. So
mm.
this is a really important window. So when we do the wraparound treatment, we're really helping folks directly take advantage and awaken the mind to new ways.
Yeah, and avoid having a kind of negative feedback from the dose, or yeah, because that can happen.
Hmm.
Okay, this is so interesting. So our brains are actually developing, they're actually growing pieces of tissue on the in the
Hmm.
inside the brain after we use ketamine. Yeah, and it's a beautiful feeling. I mean, I've done it and I did feel really wonderful. I felt lighter. the
Mm-hmm.
next day. I felt happier. I felt like it was easier to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And during the dose, I felt quite a lot of intense but good emotions. Like I felt love and friendship for a couple of the people around me. And yeah, but I know that some people, can feel more depressed afterwards, or the worst kind of scenario is for someone to fall into suicidal ideation.
Mm-hmm.
But these are, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that these are people who are having those issues beforehand, before they use ketamine, and that they don't have the support before and after the treatment to help them not go there, or to be with them when they are there, to make sure that they don't, hurt themselves, or
Right,
or
right.
whatever, right?
You bring up an interesting aspect of this. The beauty of ketamine is it's being used all across ER departments when people come in with uh, like active suicidal, like we've got a plan, somebody interrupted and we got her or them into the ER. This treatment, one dose, can immediately alleviate that horrible hell that the person is going through. And here
Mm,
we go, is the key is once you get that alleviated, you've got to come in with your care systems,
right. You've got to
right?
provide that support. Let them process, help them talk, help them do whatever it takes,
Right.
right?
So it opens a window of intervention. But again, it's no guarantee. And psychedelic experiences can have arcs that are ascension oriented. So where
Mm,
you get more euphoric, more connected with the world, you feel more love for yourself and everyone else, or they can have a descent.
mm,
And that's where you start to meet your shadow self,
mm.
or the protecting layers that we have in our psyche are loosened, and that stuff can come up.
And the vulnerability comes up, the pain and the vulnerability. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
And
yes.
you need somebody experienced and trained by your
Hmm.
side to help you get through that. And
Yes.
imagine what it's like, when you get through that. I'm like, wow, how great is that to get through that and come out
Yeah.
the other side?
Right, right. The ordeal path, which is common in all cultures and all, so going through and going into the underworld of yourself or of, whatever, and coming out the other side
Yeah,
is another path of healing. And it
yeah,
is a tough one. Can be very tough for
yeah.
people.
It's tough, but I think that the research does show that ketamine is really, truly, the beneficial potential of it is huge. And
Yes.
like you said, right? Yeah. And like you said, it's fit in the medical community. It's a completely run of the mill, totally known substance. It's been used for anesthesia for decades, right? Since, help me out here, since the 50s or 60s?
60s, it
Since
was
the 60s.
discovered, right? And the first trials were done for humans. It was a human trial first before they even introduced it for medicine for animals and livestock and veterinarian.
Mm,
But
hmm.
it is so safe that it can be used for infants that are up to 27 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, premature. So if they need to go in for surgery, that would be a safer alternative for them.
Wow.
It was given to Vietnam soldiers who were in
Hmm.
the front lines, and
Yeah. Imagine that you can get that on the battlefield,
uh,
and it helps. It does its job right there and then
right,
on the battlefield. That's
and
incredible.
folks that received that ketamine had better survival rates, so
Hmm.
that they are not in distress and their body is and they can be transported safely. So
Hmm.
that is where the original term K-hole came from.
Mm, okay.
You get
Got it.
your buddy who's got severe injury, you get them into a K-hole, they're going to be safer to transport and they're going to
Yeah.
more likely survive. So that predates any club languages and things or,
Yeah.
jargon.
Yeah. So ketamine is a really powerful, medically tested, well-known substance.
Mhm. Top
Yeah.
10 medications of the World Health Organization. It's
Really?
yes, every
Okay.
hospital and in third world countries where they don't have access to, respiratory vents or, things that
Yeah.
types of anesthesia that require monitoring that might suppress respiration. Ketamine is
Right.
their go-to. So
Right. That makes a
that's
lot of sense. That's wonderful for poorly resourced hospitals and clinics all over the world.
mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, this has been a fascinating talk. Thank you for
Yeah.
opening the door into research on ketamine for us. It's super useful. And maybe we'll
Yeah.
come back and have another session, you know?
Yeah, let's keep at it because every day I pour over the latest in the research over my morning coffee. That's my daily routine, and it's just
Coffee and
fascinating.
ketamine.
And coffee and ketamine.
Coffee and ketamine research. Here we go. Okay. Thank you so much, PJ. I'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.